All right, we're back, Israel. You're joining me for our continuance in our study, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, the 613 Laws portion of our study, part 11. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All praise is due. Peace, grace, and blessings to my family, the elect of Israel. If you're joining me, if you can hear my voice, I love you and I appreciate your time. Let's get it rocking. All right. So we ended sacrifices and offerings. This is where we're beginning today. Okay. We're in 459 of 613 laws. Keeping it moving. All right. To sanctify the firstling of cattle, pardon me, to sanctify the firstling of clean cattle and offer it up. Now, is this possible? Is this possible? Can you keep this law? Are you able to sanctify the firstling of clean cattle and offer it up? No, you're not. How come, Israel? How come you're not able to do this? Is it because you don't have any livestock? You don't have any flocks? You don't have any cattle to offer up? And if you did have cattle to offer up, are you able to sanctify it? Are you able to offer it up in the temple with the Levitical priests? Levitical priests don't exist, right? Priesthood dismantled, not intact, right? Right. No sanctuary, no temple, right? Right. Impossible, right? Right. You're guilty, right? Right. Violator, right. Going to be destroyed, right. You guys are so right, you're going to get left. Boy, you guys are so damn right at this point, you're going to get left. That's a promise. 460, to slay the Paschal lamb. Again, I don't even know what Paschal lamb is. I would Google it, but it doesn't matter. Whatever kind of fucking lamb is, you don't slay it. See, if it was important, I would Google it. I would get the definition, but it's not important. Because bottom line is, whatever kind of lamb it is, you ain't got it. You don't slay it. So you're a violator. 461. To eat the flesh of the Paschal sacrifice on the night of the 15th of Nisan. So you can't eat the flesh of the Paschal sacrifice on the night of the 15th of Nisan because you don't sacrifice. You don't do any sacrificial activities, no ceremonies. So this is impossible. You don't do this. Since you're not doing this, you're in trouble. I don't do it. I can't do it, so screw it. That mantra, that's gonna get you fucked up. The Most High gonna deal with you for that because you decided. He didn't say it was mandatory. You decided it was mandatory and that you rather try to hold on to the law than to accept his sacrifice that he gave you, to accept his son, to accept the mediator of a new covenant. You didn't want a new covenant. You didn't want a new agreement. You said, no, Father, no, it's cool. I'll stay under the old covenant. Yeah. I appreciate you trying to give me a way to get out. You're trying to cleanse me, but I want to do it myself. See, I should be able to do this myself. I can do this myself. I don't need you. I got this. That's what you told him. That's what you told him, that you got it. You got it under control. You don't need no mediator of no new covenant. You like the old one. You don't need a way out. You'll take the old path, right? That's what you guys have decided. You don't believe that there's a new covenant. You believe we only have the old one. So this is all stuff you have to adhere to. You have no atonement for your sins. None. You have no way of being saved. You're all just waiting to be destroyed. That's the bottom line. And that is the feeling of the 2/3. The 2/3 know that they're not going to be saved. They know they're going to be destroyed. That's why they have no problem clinging to death. They have no problem with that covenant with death, right? They don't even consider the fact that it's killing them. They know that this law of liberty right now is not for them. They know it. So they cling to that old thing because it's the only thing that they got. Doesn't matter that that's just expediting their torment, expediting their end. Don't even care, right? Not to eat the flesh of the Paschal lamb raw or sodden. Not to leave any portion of the flesh of the Paschal sacrifice until the morning unconsumed. Again, I can just run through these, right? You're giving no offerings, no sacrifices. You're guilty of all of these. Just already hear me saying that I don't need to say it. You're guilty of every last one of these. Guilty, 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 all the way through. But we're gonna read them. Just but with everyone I read, just already hear me saying guilty, violator, just insert it after every line, okay? So I don't have to. Not to give the flesh of the Paschal lamb to an Israelite who had become an apostate. Not to give flesh of the Paschal lamb to a stranger who lives among you to eat. Not to take any of the flesh of the Paschal lamb from the company's place of assembly. Not to break a bone of the Paschal lamb. That the uncircumcised shall not eat of the flesh of the Paschal lamb. Not to slaughter the Paschal lamb while there is shemetz in the home. Not to leave the part of the Paschal lamb that should be burnt on the altar until the morning, when it will no longer be fit to be burnt. Not to go up to the sanctuary. Ooh, I can't, there is no sanctuary. Ooh, I'm safe there. That doesn't apply. I'm glad that one doesn't apply to me. Not to go up to the sanctuary that doesn't exist for the festival, which you don't keep and you can't keep, without what? Bringing an offering, because all festivals include offerings. So you can't claim to be keeping feast days, festivals, this day, that day, and you're not able to offer up anything. It's impossible. So you're not keeping the days because you can't do it to the best of your ability. The best of your ability is not good enough. You filthy fucking heathen ass animal. That's what you are to the Most High. You're a dirty, filthy, heathenistic fucking animal. And you think you can come to him? You think you can come to him with no mediator, with no go-between, nobody on your behalf, when before you needed Levites? You needed Moses. You always needed a go-between, but you think now in this time when you're fucking dirtier than fucking ever, you think you could do it now. Oh, okay. I ain't gonna call that dumb, but it ain't fucking smart. 472, to bring the first fruits of your harvest, which you never have, to the sanctuary that doesn't exist. That the flesh of a sin offering, which you never offer, and guilt offering, which you never offer, shall be eaten. That one not of the seed of Aaron shall not eat the flesh of the holy sacrifices, which you don't sacrifice, which you don't offer, to observe the procedure of the burnt offering. Do you observe the procedure of the burnt offering? No. Do you observe the procedure of the meal offering? Nope. Not to offer up leaven or honey. You don't offer up shit. That every sacrifice be salted. You don't sacrifice shit. Not to offer up any offering unsalted. You don't sacrifice shit. That the court of judgment, which we don't have, shall offer up a sacrifice if they have erred in judicial pronouncement. So the court of judgment that we don't have is supposed to be offering up a sacrifice if they have erred in judicial pronouncement. Imagine that. Sounds like We're supposed to be in a position of power, authority, or control. Or we're supposed to have our own lands and right servants and our own money system and own courts and judicial system and so forth, right? These laws, that's what these laws apply to people in that predicament. But that doesn't apply to us. We're in our fucking captivity. And you mean to try to convince me that this shit applies to us, huh? And I'm the fucking moron, right? For knowing better, right? Dumbass. 481. That an individual shall bring a sin offering. Oh, shall bring? Shall bring a sin offering if he has sinned in error by committing a transgression. Okay. I didn't even know about the law. I didn't know that was a sin. Okay, so you sinned in error. Okay, you sinned in error. I'll give you that. I'll say that you didn't know the law, so you offended all over the place. But you did it in error, right? You committed a transgression in error, right? What were you supposed to do about that? Bring a sin offering for it to atone. Have you done it? Can you do it? No. Yeah. Back to your mantra. I can't do it, so screw it. Yeah, you're screwed. To offer a sacrifice of varying value in accordance with one's means. To offer a sacrifice of varying value in accordance with one's means. You don't bring any offering of sacrifice of any value. You don't do it. You're guilty. Not to sever completely the head of a fowl brought as a sin offering. So it's like you're supposed to be bringing sin offerings. He gave you rules on what not to bring. That means this is something you're supposed to be doing. And he's telling you how not to fuck it up. But you are fucking it up by not bringing anything. 484. Not to put olive oil in a sin offering made of flour. Not to put frankincense on a sin offering made of flour. Damn, it's like you're supposed to be doing sin offerings if you're under the law. You're supposed to. It's like this is a part of the law or something. It's in here so many times. You would think that it's attached to the law and that you can't take it away and just keep the law to the best of your ability. Damn. That an individual shall bring an offering if he is in doubt as to whether he has committed a sin for which one has to bring a sin offering. So it's like, even if you're not sure and you think that you might have, and it's possible that you might have, you better bring a sin offering. This is called a guilt offering for doubtful sins. Do you bring sin offerings, guilt offerings for doubtful sins? Do you do it? Do you do it? Come on, Johnny. Please tell me you do it. You're the boss law keeper. Right? We're in the final stage. I'm whipping your ass, Mr. Boss Man, with your law that you love. I'm fucking you up right now with your law. I'm Shane Sunning your motherfucking ass right now. I'm using your powers, your gifts against you. Transformed into you. And I'm utilizing your own code of conduct to fuck you up. Not through any wisdom of my own. This is all thanks to the Most High. This is his wisdom. This is his verdict on you. This is his will being done. He said he will bring your wisdom. He will reveal your wisdom to be nothing. That he will make you manifest in the end. We are in the end, and you are being made manifest to be liars, to be false prophets, false teachers. You're being shown not to be of his elect. He's leaving no doubt that you are not called, that you are not worthy, that you are not sanctified, that you are not included in that number. That's why they love to call themselves the hopeful elect. And they like to say, I dare not make myself of that number. Yeah, you better not. You know better. You're convicted by your own spirit. You know better. 487, that the remainder of the meal offerings that you're supposed to be offering that you're not shall be eaten. Not to allow the remainder of the meal offering, which you're supposed to offer daily, right, to become leavened, right? That the high Kohen shall offer a meal offering daily, not to eat of the meal offering brought by the Kohanim, to observe the procedure of the sin offering, not to eat of the flesh of sin offerings, the blood of which is brought within the sanctuary that doesn't exist, and sprinkled towards the veil that doesn't exist. To observe the procedure of the guilt offering, you don't do this. To observe the procedure of the peace offering, you don't do this either. To burn meat of the holy sacrifice that has remained over, you don't do this. And you can't do this. Not to eat of sacrifices that are eaten beyond the appointed time for eating them. Not to eat of holy things that have become unclean. To burn meat of the holy sacrifice that has become unclean. That a person who is unclean shall not eat of things that are holy. A Kohen's daughter who profaned herself shall not eat of the holy things, neither of the heave offering, nor of the breast, nor of the shoulder of peace. Nor of the shoulder of peace offerings. That a woman after childbirth shall bring an offering when she is clean. Listen. Aqua, fellas, have your wives, ladies, have you ever brought an offering after childbirth, after you were clean? No, I've never done it. Even if I wanted to. Bring it where, Ak? Where was I supposed to take it? You know, to that sanctuary that you law pushers haven't built yet. Take it there. Give it to the Levitical priesthood that ain't gonna be there when you get there. Just fucking dumb. 502, that the leper shall bring a sacrifice after he is cleansed. Now the man having an issue shall bring a sacrifice after he is cleansed of his issue. Have you done it? Any of you men having an issue? Have you brought a sacrifice to the non-existent sanctuary, to the Levites, after you've been cleansed of your issue? That a woman having an issue shall bring a sacrifice after she is cleansed of her issue. Aqua, have you done this? No. And can you do this? Hell no. To observe on Yom Kippur the service appointed for that day regarding the sacrifice, confessions, sending away of the scapegoat, etc. Don't do it, can't do it. Not to slaughter beasts set apart for sacrifices outside the sanctuary. Not to eat flesh of a sacrifice that has been left over beyond the time appointed for its consumption. Not to sanctify blemished cattle for sacrifice on the altar. This text prohibits such beasts being set apart for sacrifice on the altar. That every animal offered up shall be without blemish. Not to inflict a blemish on the cattle set apart for sacrifice. Not to slaughter blemished cattle as sacrifices. Not to burn the limbs of blemished cattle upon the altar. Not to sprinkle the blood of blemished cattle upon the altar. Not to offer up blemished beasts that comes from non-Israelites. So you mean to tell me, man, because I don't have my own cattle that I can't go to Albertsons or my local supermarket and grab me some meat out the frozen section or some fresh meat, the so-called fresh meat, see my air quotes, take it to the non-existent sanctuary and have it offered up as a sacrifice at the hands of the non-existent Levitical priesthood? You mean to tell me I can't do that? Man, I wish somebody would have told me that sacrifices of cattle can only take place when they are at least 8 days old, not to leave any flesh of the Thanksgiving offering until the morning. This was Thanksgiving offerings too. There's all these offerings, man, we're supposed to be doing, and you ain't doing any of them. Any of them. To offer up the meal offering of the Omer on the morrow after the first day of Passover, together with one lamb. Not to eat bread made of new grain before the Omer of barley has been offered up on the second day of Passover. Not to eat roasted grain of the new produce before that time. Not to eat fresh ears of the new grain before that time. To bring on Shavuot loaves of bread together. I'll probably screw that all the way up, but oh well. Together with the sacrifices which are then offered up in connection with the loaves, and none of that going down. You ain't doing none of that shit. Ain't none of this shit taking place. To offer up an additional sacrifice on Passover. See, Passover, there are offerings tied to the Passover, tied to all of these days you're supposed to keep. But you're not doing any offerings, no sacrifices, but you're saying you're keeping these days, right? Okay. That one who vows to the Lord the monetary value of a person shall pay the amount appointed in the scriptural portion. If a beast is exchanged for one that had been set apart as an offering, both become sacred. Not to exchange a beast set aside for sacrifice. That one who vows to the Lord Yahweh the monetary value of an unclean beast shall pay its value. That one who vows the value of his house shall pay according to the appraisal of the Kohen. That one who sanctifies to the Lord Yahweh a portion of his field shall pay according to the estimation appointed in the scriptural portion. Not to transfer a beast set apart for sacrifice from one class of sacrifices to another. To decide in regard to dedicated property as to which is sacred to the Lord and which belongs to the Kohen. Not to sell a field devoted to the Lord. Not to redeem a field devoted to the Lord. To make confession before the Lord of any sin that one has committed when bringing a sacrifice and at other times. To make confession before the Lord of any sin that one hath committed when bringing a sacrifice and at other times. Not to put olive oil in the meal offering of a woman suspected of adultery. Not to put frankincense on it. To offer up the regular sacrifices daily. Listen, offer up the regular sacrifices daily, 2 lambs as burnt offerings. Are you? Do you? Can you? Nope. 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 Get a rope. This man is just hanging around, waiting to die. See what I did there? All right. 537. 537. To offer up additional sacrifices every Shabbat. What? What you supposed to do every Shabbat? Offer up an additional sacrifice. What's additional mean? Meaning in addition to, meaning on top of what? The regular sacrifices daily. So you got your regular sacrifices daily. that you're supposed to be doing. And then on top of that, on the Shabbat, in addition to that, you got to offer up 2 more lambs on top of that. To offer up an additional sacrifice every new moon. Celebrating the new moon? Huh? Huh, law pusher? Are you celebrating it with an additional sacrifice? What does that imply? Each one reach one? Well, thank you for asking. It's implying that you're supposed to provide regular sacrifices. And then on top of that, you got to add additional sacrifices for these occasions, include the new moon. You devout, observant, law-pushing Israelites. I know you guys are doing this because, you guys wouldn't lie. You guys wouldn't just claim to be keeping the law and not really keeping the law. I know you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do it. To bring an additional offering on Shavuot, to offer up an additional sacrifice on Rosh Hashanah, to offer up an additional sacrifice on Yom Kippur, to offer up an additional sacrifice on Sukkot, to offer up an additional offering on Shemini Atzeret, which is a festival by itself, to bring all offerings, whether obligatory or free will, on the first festival after these were incurred. All your festivals, like I told you, offerings are part of the ceremony, are part of the observance of these days. If you're not bringing your offerings, if you're not providing your offerings, you're not doing the sacrifices, you're not observing the days, you're not keeping the law. You're not. You might as well stop with the fucking charade. And if you're not able to do this, doesn't it stand to reason that the law is done away with? Because if the Most High required this of you, if this is something he desired, something he wanted, if this is something that pleased him, wouldn't he provide you every means, every opportunity, everything that you needed in order to make good on this? Right? But it's like he don't want you to do it or something. It's like he went out of his way to not allow you to do this stuff. Why would he do that? If he wanted you to fulfill the law, if he wanted you to keep all of these things, all of these laws perfectly, why would he not provide you with a way? I keep racking my brain, and for the life of me, I just can't figure out why the Most High, in his infinite wisdom, demand all of these things from you and won't provide you a way to accomplish them. I just can't figure out why. It just will not dawn on me. It will not occur. It has not occurred to me. That's for damn sure. I can't figure it out. What is the method to this reasoning, to this thinking? Is it because he wants you to die? Is it because he knew there was going to be a lot of you who rejected his son that would be trying to hold on to the law? And so he wanted you to die because you rejected his son. You rejected his offering, his olive branch to you. And so he was going to use that same thing that you held on to back in the day, same thing that you rejected his son for. He's going to use that to be the instrument of your death. That he's going to kill you by that very thing which you held fast to. It's like he don't love you or something, like he doesn't want you to come to him. He made it impossible. And if his will is always done, that's him responsible for that, right? That means he's showing you who he doesn't want. He's showing you who his throwaways are. He's showing you you're being manifest. That's what's happening. His words are coming to life. His words are coming true like they always do. Did you think they weren't gonna be? Did you think they wouldn't be? Oh, they are. None of them are coming back void. Everything that he said will be either has been or it will be. That's the bottom line. And knowing that fact, you should be scared. You should be terrified, law pushers, but you're not, because he made you too stupid to be scared. You think I'm in error. You think we're in error. You think I'm reading this and I'm misinterpreted in all of this. You think I'm the one that's tripping. That's the crazy part. Man, that shit is fucking insane. Wow. But continuing. Not to offer up sacrifices outside the sanctuary. See, it seems like the sanctuary is very important to the law. 546. To offer all sacrifices in the sanctuary. See, that's what I'm saying. You have to offer all sacrifices in the sanctuary with the Levitical priest. Neither one exists. So you can't even be pretending to be offering up sacrifices. You can't be pretending to keep the law. You're just lying about keeping the law. You're not fooling anybody. Especially not the Father. Especially not Yahweh Shai, who you don't even believe in. Wow. Wow. To redeem, 547, to redeem cattle set apart for sacrifices that contracted disqualifying blemishes, after which they may be eaten by anyone. Not to eat of the unblemished firstling outside Jerusalem. So it's like the people that he's talking to that got this law are supposed to be in Jerusalem. This is where they are. This is where they would be. They would be in this land. Not to eat the flesh of the burnt offering. You guys aren't in any jeopardy there. Since you don't provide any burnt offerings, it's impossible for you to violate this law to not eat the flesh of the burnt offering when you don't have any burnt offerings, when you don't offer any, right? This is a prohibition applying to every trespasser, not to enjoy any of the holy things. If he does so, he commits a trespass. 550. That the Kohanim shall not eat the flesh of the sin offering or guilt offering outside the courtyard of the sanctuary. Not to eat of the flesh of the sacrifices that are holy in a minor degree before the blood has been sprinkled on the altar. That doesn't exist. That the Kohen shall not eat the first fruits before they are set down in the courtyard of the sanctuary. That doesn't exist. To take trouble to bring sacrifices to the sanctuary from places outside the land of Israel. Meaning go out of your way. Put yourself through the extra work, through the trouble of bringing sacrifices to the sanctuary from places outside the land of Israel. You know I'm about to hit you with it, right? You know what I'm about to say. If that's the land over there, regardless of who's there or whatnot, why are you not going through the trouble of taking your sacrifices to that land, to the sanctuary that doesn't exist, and offering it up? Why are you not doing that? Because you can't? Not an excuse. That is no excuse. 554. Not to eat the flesh of beasts set apart as sacrifices that have been rendered unfit to be offered up by deliberately inflicted blemish. Not to do work with cattle set apart for sacrifice. Not to do work with cattle. How many of y'all just have cattle around and need cattle for any sort of work? It's like this was meant for people with land and farms and flocks and livestock and the means to take care of them, and in a society that relied on the people having livestock and not being able to go to the supermarket. That's crazy, right? It's like the Most High knew what he was fucking doing, right? It's like once you no longer had a need for these laws, that he got rid of them. Damn. Imagine that. That sounds too much like genius. That sounds too much like order, right? 556, not to shear beasts set apart for sacrifice. You're not sharing any beasts. You're not offering up any sacrifices. You're in no danger of violating this law. But the fact that you can't keep it, that it doesn't apply to you, should be a sign to you that it's not for you. 557, not to leave any portion of the festival offering brought on the 14th of Nisan until the third day. You're keeping the festivals, right? That's what you guys say. You're keeping all the days, all the holy days. You guys are observing all of them, but not offering anything. You're robbing the Most High, spitting in his face. 558, not to offer up a beast that has a temporary blemish. 559, not to bring sacrifices out of the hire of a harlot or price of a dog. 560, to read the portion prescribed on bringing the first fruits. We're getting through this thing. We're almost done. We're at 561 of 613. Ritual purity and impurity. That 8 species of creeping things defile by contact. That foods become defiled by contact with unclean things. And anyone who touches the carcass of a beast that died of itself shall be unclean. That a lion in woman is unclean, like a menstruating woman in terms of uncleanness. That a leper is unclean and defiles. That the leper shall be universally recognized as such by the prescribed marks. So too, all other unclean persons should declare themselves as such. That a leper's garment is unclean and defiles. Now, by the way, because we can get this, we can bring this out. So too, all other unclean persons should declare themselves as such. You know what that means? Any of you walking around with VD, with an STD of some sort, any sort, you're supposed to tell everybody. You're supposed to pronounce it. It's supposed to be public knowledge. It ain't supposed to be a secret. Tell the world. Tell the world, come on out. Come on out. Yep, go on and sing the song. I'm coming out. Sing it. I want the world to know. Come on. Come on. Come on out. Quit hiding. This is the law. It's supposed to be a matter of public record. If you are unclean, put out a notification. Alert everybody. We're all supposed to know that a leper's garment is unclean and defiled. That a leper's house defiles. That a man having a running issue defiles. That the seed of copulation defiles. Yeah, the seed of copulation. You know what that means, right? You know exactly what that means. That purification from all kinds of defilement shall be effected by immersion in the waters of mikvah. When a man has an emission of semen, he shall bathe his whole body in water and remain unclean until evening. That quick little wash up at the sink, that don't count, fellas. That don't count. Okay? That a menstruating woman is unclean and defiles others. Your woman, it's her time of the month. You're supposed to be near her. She can defile you. She's supposed to be set apart during that time of the month. She's not supposed to be cooking for you. She's not supposed to be around you. She's not supposed to touch you. You're not supposed to touch her. You become defiled. Are you fucking up out there, Israel? Are you violating? Yes, you are. Of course you are. And while you're violating, are you atoning? No, no, you're not. Of course you're not, because you can't, right? No excuse. You better find a way. You better find a way. 574, to carry out the ordinance of the red heifer so that its ashes will always be available. Adamah. Para Adamah, red heifer. And again, like I told you before, just for the sake of edification, when you look up red heifer, look up red dog, red horse, right? It's not going to bring you anything that looks like that color that you identify with as red today. So your enemies gave you that. Your enemies, these heathen, who you claim that you hate, but secretly love, right? You listen to them. You let them teach you. You let them teach you the meaning of words. You let them corrupt you with newspeak. You let them tell you what red looks like. You let them tell you about these different Crayola colors. Let you associate these colors and these words with what you see, and then you incorrectly, improperly, erroneously utilize these same words from this bastardized language to your understanding of things, right? So they tell you what red looks like. And so you think they are who they aren't, because what you believe red is. You believe, Esau was red, right? And that red looks like what they told you it looks like. And that since red blood shows forth through their skin and they turn this color red, that they gotta be Esau, right? Why? Because you rely on your understanding given by them, right? Because they've taught you, because you've learned well, or poorly, I should say, from your enemy. The same ones who you try to attempt to put down, you really revere them, you really worship them, you really look up to them. You really have a great deal of respect for them. You let them trick you. They have fucking tricked your dumb asses. And you're so fucking stupid that anybody who disagrees with you, you want to say that they love Esau. You want to claim that they love their enemy, that they're just in love with the heathen and they're trying to save the heathen. No, we're not trying to save the heathen, because these people who you're talking about, they're fucking Japhites, man. They're Japheth. And no, I don't want to save them. They don't get saved because they're not Esau. They get to go into slavery, man. Esau gets to have his seed destroyed. The Japhites, they get to go into subjugation. I'd rather have these motherfuckers in subjugation for eternity than to fucking have them all be wiped out. So what are you talking about, dumb fuck? Nah, I ain't in love with them. Nah, I ain't trying to save them. I want these motherfuckers to go into slavery. That's what I want for them. You want them to just disappear and be gone. I want them to have to pay for a long time. I want them to be at our whim. I want everything that we could possibly imagine to inflict on them, they got to deal with for a long fucking time. I'd rather have that. See, I'd rather be able to torture their asses for an infinite amount of time, right? Indefinite, that's what, not infinite, an indefinite amount of time, right? That's what I'd rather have. But see, I lingered on that too long, right? But that was for somebody. But I'm gonna keep it moving. 575, that a corpse defiles, that the waters of separation defile one who is clean, and cleanse the unclean from pollution by a dead body. Lepers and leprosy, not to drove off the hair of the skull. That the procedure of cleansing leprosy, whether of a man or of a house, takes place with cedar wood, hyssop, scarlet thread, 2 birds, and running water. That the leper shall shave his hair, not to pluck out the marks of leprosy. The king, 581, not to curse a ruler, that is, the king or the head of the college in the land of Israel, in the land of Israel, in the land of Israel, 582, to appoint a king. Have you appointed kings? No. No. You appoint presidents, right? Not your people. That's a violation of the law. So you violate by appointing these people who are not your people to rule over you, and you violate the law by not appointing the king. How come you haven't appointed a king? Because I can't. We're in captivity. No excuse. You claim the law is still in effect. All of it or none of it. 583, not to appoint as ruler over Israel one who comes from non-Israelites. Just touched on that. I didn't even look ahead, but I should have known this was coming. But yeah, I just spoke on that. You're not supposed to appoint anybody to rule over your people who doesn't come from your people. Right? And see, look, here they go right here. Now, all the dumbasses, they're trying to be smart now, right? They're trying to be smart. And they're saying right now, no. See, it says ruler over Israel. It means the land. This is particularly talking about the land. Man, all of these times you kept pointing out how this was in reference to the land. So now you want to be intelligent, right? Now you want to show some semblance of intellect, right? Huh? Okay. So then my words to you are if this applies to the land, that means these directives are being given to people who's supposed to be in the land of Israel, right? In the land that the Father gave us, right? These are laws given to the people for them to adhere to in their land, right? Are you in your land? Nope. Then the law's thrown out. See? Double-edged sword. You fucked up either way. 584, that the king shall not acquire an excessive number of horses, that the king shall not take an excessive number of wives, that he shall not accumulate an excessive quantity of gold and silver. Yeah, I know y'all, that last one, y'all like, damn, King Solomon fucked up right there. He did. He took an excessive number of wives, and that was his downfall. He violated there. That he shall not accumulate, and again, and why is this in the law? Why is this in the law? Because it was a practice. It was something that was normal in our customs. It's part of our heritage. But let's keep going. That the king, shall not accumulate an excessive quantity of gold and silver. That the king shall write a scroll of the Torah for himself, in addition to the one that every person should write, so that he writes 2 scrolls. Every person, all of you Israelites are supposed to write a scroll of the Torah for yourself. Have you? No, you have not. Nazarites, that a Nazarite shall not drink wine or anything mixed with wine, which tastes like wine, and even if the wine or the mixture has turned sour, it is prohibited to him. That he shall not eat fresh grapes, that he shall not eat dried grapes, raisins, that he shall not eat the kernels of the grapes, that he shall not eat of the skins of the grapes, that the Nazarite shall permit his hair to grow, that the Nazarite shall not cut his hair, that he shall not enter any covered structure where there is a dead body, that a Nazarite shall not defile himself for any dead person by being in the presence of the corpse, that the Nazarite shall shave his hair when he brings his offerings at the completion of the period of his Nazariteship, or within that period if he has become defiled. Wars, that those engaged in warfare shall not fear their enemies, nor be panic-stricken by them during battle. This is a law for you to not be a coward. There's a law to tell you to not be a coward. Boy. And again, it sounds like the Most High is giving these laws to people who would have their own armies, their own military, their own judicial system, their own land, their own kings, right? We don't have any of that. If the glove don't fit, then you must acquit. If it doesn't apply, it gotta fly, man, out the window. Throw the law out the window. It doesn't belong to you. Right? 599. To appoint a special Kohen to speak to the soldiers. What soldiers? We have no soldiers. To appoint a special Kohen to speak to the soldiers in a war. Where is our army? Where's our military, man? We don't have one. So again, another law that doesn't apply, right? In a permissive war, as distinguished from obligatory ones, to observe the procedure prescribed in the Torah. Not to keep alive any individual of the 7 Canaanite nations. To exterminate the 7 Canaanite nations from the land of Israel. Not to destroy fruit trees wantonly or in warfare. To deal with a beautiful woman taken captive in war in the manner prescribed in the Torah, because you were allowed to take beautiful women captive in war, regardless of what nation they came from. Not to sell a beautiful woman taken captive in war. Not to degrade a beautiful woman taken captive in war to the condition of a bondwoman. Not to offer peace to the Ammonites and the Moabites before waging war on them, as should be done to other nations. So the Most High was like, I want y'all to offer peace to other nations before waging war on them. But the Ammonites and the Moabites, no, not them. Not them. Just go on right on in and take them the fuck out. That anyone who is unclean shall not enter the camp of the Levites. To have a place outside the camp for sanitary purposes. To keep that place sanitary. Always to remember what Amalek did. That the evil done to us by Amalek shall not be forgotten. 6:13, to destroy the seed of Amalek. To destroy the seed of Amalek. We have come to the conclusion, everybody. We've done it. We did it. Give yourselves a round of applause, a pat on the back for making it through this, because it was long, it was exhaustive, but it was necessary. This entire study was necessary, and it was indeed a long one. Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death went to 51 videos, 51 lessons in the first portion, and then the 613 laws portion of the study spanned 11 videos, right? Quite the journey. We went through quite the journey, everybody. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me and coming with me all this way. All this way. You guys exhibited a lot of patience, man, and will and determination and a love and thirst for understanding what the Most High wants from us. A thirst and desire to understand what you should be doing, how you should be carrying yourselves, what's right, what's wrong. You wanted to know, you needed to know. So you put the time into understanding, right? Great job. Great job, you guys. First Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the father. Hamashiach was never placed as the head above the father, right? We dispelled that notion throughout our long study. It has never been the case. It has never been said by him or any of his apostles, by none of his disciples, that he supplanted the Father. He always gave praise, honor, and reverence to the Father and correctly seated himself beneath him. All right? That's just the doctrine of devils to say otherwise. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. For that is even all of one, as if she were shaven. Order. The Most High is about order. That's the point of me getting this, is to show you how Yahushua never was put above the Father, and how everything is all about order. There is a hierarchy always when it comes to the Most High. That's how he operates. He operates that way with himself, and he gives us that hierarchy for us to operate amongst each other here. So our women are supposed to be under us. We're supposed to have a head, right? That's how it goes, right? But if we are not able to be covered by the Father, if he can't be our head because he divorced us, because we were unclean and too filthy to come directly to him, because we are not holy enough, that means something is out of order. Something is out of order. The Father cannot be your head. He can be your ultimate head, but he can't be your next level head, the meaning right above you. There has to be someone right above you. That's Yahushua. And above him is the Father. Above him is the Father. Amos 3:6 again. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. The Father does nothing without first revealing it to his prophets. He gives you a heads up. He lets you know decently and in order. He doesn't put you in a no-win situation. He always gives you a fighting chance. He gives you a chance to know better and do better. He doesn't put you in a lose-lose situation. He is responsible for everything. He told you. He is responsible for everything. But you guys keep wanting to give the responsibility and the credit for this New Testament to the heathens. The Father said he's responsible for everything. Everything. Stop trying to give the Father's glory away to others. You claim that we're doing that, but in actuality, it's you that are giving his glory away to others. That's the truth of the matter. That is the truth of the matter. Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, Old Testament, behold, the days come, future projection, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. You hear that? He promised that in the time to come, which we're in now, that he would make a new covenant, that he would get rid of the old covenant. He would make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. And what's special about the new covenant? That it would not be according to the covenant that I made with their fathers, meaning it would not be the same covenant, and it wouldn't be like it either. He told you this in the Old Testament, that he was going to give us a new covenant one day that would be nothing like the other one, the old one. He told you this, but you can't believe the New Testament. You love the Old Testament, but you don't even believe it. You don't even believe it. You don't trust the Father. You don't believe him. You don't believe his word. What a shame. What a shame. Again, Deuteronomy 18 and 15. Old Testament. This is Moses. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken. The Lord thy God will raise a prophet up unto thee from amidst thee of thy brethren, like unto me, meaning like me. He's going to be like me. And it says that I brought you these laws and these commandments from the Father, and you had to hearken to me. It's going to be a prophet who's going to come and he's going to bring you laws, commandments, and the covenant like I did. I brought you a covenant. I brought you laws and commandments from the Father. And this prophet who he raises up is going to do the same thing. He's going to bring a new law, new commandments, a new covenant. Moses warned you, because that's what he does. We just read the Father does nothing unless he first reveals it by his prophets. He warned by his prophets, by prophet Moses, long ago, long before it ever happened. He gave the warning through Moses that one day he was going to get rid of the old covenant. He told you by Jeremiah, you just read it, that one day he's going to get rid of the new covenant. Deuteronomy 18 and 18, 17. And the Lord said unto me, so that you know who's speaking, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. Who's talking? The Father. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee. Who's thee? Moses. Like you, Moses, somebody like you. And I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. This is the Father speaking. He told you that he was going to do this, but you can't believe Yahushua when he came. You can't believe it. He came doing exactly what the Father said the prophet was going to do when he sent him, and it happened. Everything the Father says has to happen shall happen, right? He told you he was going to do this. So when he did it, you don't even believe him. When he shows you when it happened, you don't even believe him. But you claim to love him. You claim to respect him, right? You claim to honor the Father, but you won't even believe him when he tells you, I'm going to do a thing. You don't believe him that when he says, I'm going to do a thing, that he's going to do that thing. You didn't believe Moses, what you claim to revere, and you don't believe the Father. You didn't believe Jeremiah. You didn't believe any of the prophets. You don't believe shit. You don't believe shit. Luke 9 and 35. And there came a voice out of the cloud saying, this is my beloved son. Hear him. And when the voice was past, Yahushua was found alone. No law, no prophets, just Yahushua. The Father gave a commandment. This is my beloved son. Hear him. Listen to him. Don't listen to the prophets. Don't listen to the law. That's over. It's done. You don't follow Moses. You don't follow the prophets. You follow my son. But y'all would not have him rule over you. So you rejected him. Now you're stuck in gross darkness, having to cling to the law of Moses because you did not accept the new covenant. So you are stuck having to abide by the old covenant. Such a shame. Such a shame. James 1 and 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. You hear that, Israel? Not the law of Moses. For those of you who have looked, if you follow my lessons, you have indeed looked into the perfect law of liberty. But it's not enough to just look into the perfect law of liberty. You have to continue therein. And then what? He, being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work of the perfect law of liberty, this man shall be blessed in his deed. See James chapter 2 and 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. We went through the 613 laws. How many of those do you think you've offended in? More than one, right? You have to keep it perfectly. Perfectly. Not to the best of your ability. Perfectly. James 2 and 12. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. Cut and dry. We'll get one more, and we're going to get out of here, Israel. Close it out. Galatians 4 and 21. Tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law? Do ye not hear the law? Are you crazy? You got to be fucking insane. Crazy insane or insane crazy. That's all I got. That's all that's necessary. I pray that you guys are all edified by this study. Thank you for sticking around. I pray that the Most High increases you in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that he waters the seeds that I planted. It's time for us to come out of the doctrine of these devils, Israel. All right? Stop letting these law clingers trick you, beguile you, right? Out of your liberty, out of your salvation, right? That's all they do. They want you to go down with them. They don't want to be in that fire alone. If misery loves company was a person, it's a motherfucking law pusher. You dig what I'm saying? So that's a wrap for this study. Give me liberty or give me death. It's in the books. It's a bow tie on that beautiful work, on that beautiful message from the Father, on to other things. Go through them all the videos. There's gems in all of them. Soak it up. Eat the meat, spit out the bones, get what you need. And you do need it. Trust me. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to our Father, Yahweh. We pray in the name of your blessed Son, our beloved Lord and Savior, our Master, Redeemer, our good Shepherd, Yahweh Shai. All praise is due. Grace, peace, and many blessings to the elect of Israel, to the 144,000 being built, made strong in the word through their faith. Keep preparing for that day. It is coming. It's fast approaching. We all got work to do. Our time is coming. We're almost out of here. Walk in your liberty, Yasharallah. Shalom.